Hello, my brothers and sisters in Christ. Father Marty Smith here with you. And I wanted to take this opportunity to kind of go over what we're going to be doing this weekend to receive communion. So as we know, we still are not able to attend our Masses publicly in person, but beginning this weekend, we are taking the step towards being able to distribute communion. Now, due to the restrictions and the guidelines laid forth by the CDC during this pandemic, we have to be a little creative and do it in some different ways. And there's different options available working in different parishes. And so what I'm gonna try this weekend to see how this works is a method that's broken down by time slots according to the first letter of a person's last name. I'm gonna post these online. Please share with anybody that may not have access or to be able to see them. But we're gonna put these up so that these time slots can be available for people to come and to receive communion. Now, I just want to say, I do have it broken down by different time slots, and that will be according to the first letter of your last name. Now, if there is some reason or something happens that you can't make your exact time slot that's allotted for your name, it is okay to come here and to go ahead and get in the line that will be forming outside with everybody 6 feet apart. To wait to come into the church to receive the Eucharist. I understand that with schedules and different things going on, that's okay. And I've even actually put into the schedule a couple blocks of time where anybody can show up, regardless of what your last name is, regardless of your church or whatever. I'm not going to turn anybody away from for the Eucharist. It's important that we receive it because it is the grace of God. It is a great blessing that He wants us to have, and especially for us to be able to have this still in the Eucharist in the Easter season. So what I'll explain real quick, I've got times on Saturday and on Sunday. And so I'll explain real quick what those are. So here at St. Francis Church, on Saturday beginning at 4:10 p.m., those that are elderly or that have mobility issues that maybe can't make the other scheduled times, that maybe need some more time to come into the church, it's going to take a little bit longer to get from your vehicle, we have that extra time slotted at that. So that's at 4:10 p.m. So you can please start being ready here at the church. You can come here shortly after 4 and be ready to come in at 4:10. And in a moment, I'm going to explain exactly what the protocol is and procedures for all this. So there'll be somebody at the door to guide and give further instructions, but I'm going to go through it in just a moment. So that's Saturday at 4:10 p.m. for the elderly and those with mobility issues that need a little bit extra time. Then starting at 4:30 p.m., those whose last names begin with the letters A through D, you can be in line ready to come into the church. At 4:45 p.m., those whose last names beginning E through H. 5 p.m., last names beginning with the letter I through L. And then at 5:15 p.m. on Saturday until 5:30, that's extra time for communion. So if you missed a slot or if you need to come a day early because you won't be able to the next day or whatever else, you can come from that 5:15 till 5:30 time slot. And I, of course, if there's people still in line, I will stay here and distribute communion as long as possible. But if there's nobody in line at 5:30, I'm gonna go ahead and lock up the doors and everything. So if you want to receive it, make sure that you come before 5:30. Now on Sunday at St. Francis, starting after our virtual Mass, so we will still have live stream Mass at 10:15 in the morning, so please join and watch that. Starting with that Mass, right after that Mass, starting at 11:30 a.m., last names beginning with the letters M through P. At 11:45 a.m., last names beginning with the letters Q through T. At 12 p.m., last names beginning with the letters W through Z. And then at 12:15 p.m. until 12:30 p.m., that's once again extra communion time. So if you couldn't make those other slots, or if you need to come there, once again, I will stay here and distribute communion, the Eucharist, as long as people are still coming and in line. But if there's nobody here and it's 12:30, then I will go ahead and finish for the day. Now down at Grafton, at St. Patrick's in Grafton, communion distribution times will be Sunday morning, starting at 8 a.m. And at 8 a.m., last names beginning with the letters A through I. At 8:15 a.m., last names beginning with the letters J through S. At 8:30 a.m., last names beginning with the letters T through Z. And at 8:45 p.m., that'll be extra communion time until 9. So for anybody that wasn't able to make their slots or wants to come at that time, we will have that extra communion time. So it'll be about an hour of distribution time down there. Now, the whole reason that we have these letters is to try to make sure that the church doesn't get overcrowded with everybody showing up at the same time. So if at all possible, please try to stick to when your last name is assigned that time slot. But once again, if it's not realistic, then we will we'll work with you. We want you to receive the Eucharist. That is the most important thing. And we're very grateful that we're going to have this opportunity to receive the Lord in the Eucharist during this Easter season. So I'm going to pause this, and then I'll make another video explaining exactly the protocol for what we're going to be doing. So when you arrive here at the church, if you could start lining up on this sidewalk, maintaining a 6-foot distance, of course, go ahead and moving towards the church, towards the door. And so if the line is stretching around onto the sidewalk, just ensure that 6-foot distance in between. And you will walk up this sidewalk, and we will go towards the open ramp, and we're going to walk up there. Once we get to the ramp, if you could pause right here and within eye shot of the door, and we'll have somebody standing over here that will be keeping track to make sure that only 9 people are going into the church at a time. These doors will be propped open so that nobody has to open or touch the doors. Once you come in, continue walking forward down this aisle, and you will come up to the front of the church. Once you're up to the front of the church, I would ask that those 9 people line up right here in a line, standing next to each other but 6 feet apart. I will be up here at the top. I will say the prayers for communion, and then I will come down and distribute communion to each person. Now, when you enter the church and you come here, because of the CDC guidelines and the instructions that we have been given, we ask that everyone be wearing a mask. I'll be wearing a mask too. And then right before I hand you the Eucharist, you can lower your mask to receive the Eucharist and then replace that and put it back on. And right after you've received the Eucharist, then you come here and you're going to exit through the opposite side of the church down this aisle. This door, once again, will also be propped open so that nobody has to touch the door handles or the doors themselves. And you will come and exit this door, come down these 2 stairs, and then follow this sidewalk out the back, which will loop around behind the church and then again go to the right towards the parking lot. And once you come back out here, then you can return to your vehicle and leave. I hope this video helped and explained what we're going to be doing. If you still have questions, feel free to contact the parish office. Once again, all this information will be posted, and it will begin on Saturday. So I still will be doing confessions on Saturday, but I'll only be doing them from 3:15 p.m. until 4 p.m. to begin the communion distribution at 10 p.m. So there will be confessions at the old convent, 3:15 till 4 p.m. And then at 4:10 p.m., the communion distribution will begin for those slotted in each spot. So once again, know that you're welcome to come and to receive this great gift. I look forward to seeing you all. Please remember to social distance and to take all precautions as we normally would when we're going to the grocery store or anywhere else. We know that what's going on. We know how to protect ourselves and all those things. So we'll just use our common sense. We'll be fine, and we'll receive that great gift, that great sacrament of the Lord. So this is Father Marty Smith signing off, letting all of you know that you're in my prayers. I love you all very much, and I look forward to seeing you this weekend. God bless you.